Can you imagine being trapped in one of the most violent prisons on Earth, where just making it to the next day is a battle? Well, that's the true story of Billy Moore. He was an English boxer who had to fight, not for some title, but for his actual life. It's a raw look at what happens when you hit absolute rock bottom, and you've got to find any reason at all just to get back on your feet.
And this quote, it pretty much says it all, right? This wasn't just about fighting other guys in a ring. It was a fight against his own addiction, against the system designed to break him, and, well, a fight for his own survival. So let's dive into how it all went so wrong.
All right, so our story kicks off in the intense, brutal world of Thai boxing. We meet Billy Moore, and in the ring, this guy is a force of nature. His rage makes him a terrifying opponent, just a total whirlwind of destruction. He seems invincible. But the thing that fuels that fire? It's a pretty dark secret, and it's about to blow up his entire life.
So you've got these two totally different versions of Billy Moore. To the world, he's this powerhouse fighter. But behind the curtain, he's completely in the grip of a serious drug addiction. He fights without fear because he's literally numb, getting high before every single match. So what looks like strength is actually his biggest weakness. It's basically a ticking time bomb.
And when that bomb goes off, his downfall is fast and it is brutal. He overdoses, which leads to him losing a huge fight. Then, the police raid his place, find drugs and a weapon, and bam, just like that, he's slapped with a 3-year sentence in one of Thailand's most notorious prisons, a place you really don't want to end up. Once he's inside, Billy discovers a living nightmare, something way beyond his worst fears. This is where his real fight begins, and it's not in a boxing ring with rules and a referee, but in a prison cell where humanity seems to have been forgotten. The first and only rule in this place is violence. It's how you survive, it's the language that everybody speaks. And for someone new, like Billy, it is a constant, suffocating threat, 24/7. The second rule is fear. I mean, on his very first night, he's crammed into a cell so overcrowded, people are literally sleeping on top of each other. And Billy wakes up to discover the inmate right next to him is dead. The shock is just immediate and deep. And the third rule? Total isolation. As the only white foreigner there, he's a complete outsider. He's surrounded by these hardened criminals who just see him as a target, plain and simple. You know, his descent into this hell is terrifyingly quick. When he tries to fight back against an attack, he gets thrown into a solitary cell that's basically a coffin. When he gets out, a gang leader manipulates him, gets him hooked on drugs again, and then comes the ultimate betrayal. He's framed, which leads to a savage beating by the guards that just shatters him, body and soul. This is his lowest point. He's completely broken, convinced there's no way out but to die in this place. So Billy cuts his own wrists. But in this shocking moment of humanity, some of the other inmates find him. They wrap his arms, and they refuse to let him die. They save his life. So being saved like that, it's a second chance. But it's what he does with that chance that completely changes his story. This right here is the turning point, where just surviving turns into a fight for something more.
I mean, it's a question he has to face. When you've lost absolutely everything, what do you fight for? For Billy, the answer was actually something he already knew, but he had to find it again in the last place on Earth he ever expected. And then he sees it, an unlikely path to salvation, the prison's Muay Thai boxing team. For Billy, this is so much more than a sport. It's a lifeline. It's a way for him to reclaim his body, to focus his mind, and to find a tiny flicker of hope in all that darkness.
But getting on the team is not easy. The coach knows he's a drug addict and just flat out rejects him. But Billy doesn't give up. He shows a little bit of character by repaying a debt to a kind woman named Fame who works in the canteen. Finally, he goes back and begs the coach, promising that if he gets this one chance, he will leave that old life behind for good. And the coach, he finally agrees. And with this new sense of purpose, Billy just completely transforms. He pours every ounce of his energy into training. He gets focused, disciplined, sober. He starts to earn the respect of the other inmates, and after he wins a big prison match, he gets the attention of the warden. So, the warden is so impressed, he offers Billy this once-in-a-lifetime shot, a chance to represent the prison in a national Muay Thai tournament. Now, if he wins, it could mean a pardon, his freedom, a whole new life. But if he loses, he gets thrown right back to the wolves.
The challenge ahead of him is just monumental. It's a classic David versus Goliath story.
You've got Billy, this desperate inmate fighting for his soul against the polished, professional national champion of Thailand. For Billy, it's about freedom. For the champ, it's about glory. The stakes couldn't be higher. But then, right before the biggest fight of his life, he gets some devastating news. A doctor warns him his body is breaking down. He's got a severe hernia, and if he steps into that ring, it could actually kill him. So he's got this impossible choice. Give up his one shot at freedom or risk dying to get it. He chooses to fight. The fight starts, and Billy is holding his own. But in the third round, the champion lands this brutal kick right to Billy's stomach. He finds the injury, Billy's weak spot, and he just starts a relentless, targeted attack. Billy is in excruciating pain. He can barely even stand up.
He gets knocked down, he's writhing on the mat in agony, and it really looks like it's over. Everybody thinks he's going to stay down. But fueled by the thought of his father, of the life that could be waiting for him, he forces himself back to his feet.
In the final round, totally exhausted and injured, Billy just waits for his one moment. When the champion gets a little tired, Billy unleashes everything he has left and ends the fight with a single, devastating knockout elbow. He's done it. He's the new champion.
But that victory comes at a huge cost. He collapses right after the fight and gets rushed to a hospital. And there, he finds himself totally unguarded. It's a perfect chance to escape, but he doesn't take it. He chooses to face his sentence with honor. After he recovers, he serves the rest of his time and is eventually transferred back to the UK, where he finally gets to reunite with his father.
But Billy's story doesn't just end with him getting free. He used that incredible, harrowing journey to forge a completely new path. Today, the real Billy Moore actually runs a foundation, helping other people fight the same exact demons that almost destroyed him.
Billy Moore's story is just an incredible testament to the resilience of the human spirit. And it leaves us with this really powerful question. Can one moment, one single fight, truly be enough to redeem a lifetime of mistakes? What do you think?